Alright, hey guys, it's Alfonzo. In this video, we're going to be going over punch problems in pages 4 and 5. This is from MSCA test number 2, 1920. If you want to access this test, just go to the Math Club website, enter resources, and click on calculator tests. So we're going to start off with question 39 on page 4. Starting this off with 23.7, press enter. 53.5, then I add 61.9, and then I add blue shift key and square root to square that, 850 and 672, and then I add blue shift key and square root again to square, and I multiply. My result should be 4.40 times 10 to the 10th power. Now we're on question 40. Starting off with 17,000, enter. Now we're going to go with 2.43 e negative 4, then press 1 over x. Then I add 18,400, enter, 15,600, divide, then I subtract 0.686. Then I divide, and then square it with blue shift key and square root. Now, in question 41, we're going to be going over a problem with something to the fourth root. 8.24, enter 9.07, then I add 1210, enter 204, and I subtract. I enter 4, and then press yellow shift key and square root. That takes our number inside the radical and does it to the fourth root. Right on question 42, 10.6, enter, 35.7, divide, 0.0574, add, and 0.051, subtract. Now I square root that, and I get my result. In question 43, I'm going to start off with putting in 351, pressing enter, 296, subtract, 1580, I add, square root, 845, square root, and subtract, and I get my result. Alright, in question 44, I'm going to start off by putting in 66.9, square root, 129, enter, 64.7, I add, square root, and add again. Now I start off with yellow shift key and cosine for pi, 129, square root, multiply, and then subtract. Question 45. Putting in 6.22 first, enter, 5.59, divide, 996, multiply, 3, yellow shift key and square root, and then blue shift key and square root. I'm going to press yellow shift, when I enter in 3, I do yellow shift key and square root to make that to the third root, and then once that I do that, I'm going to press blue shift key and then square root to square the bracket. Now in question 46, you can do this one of two ways. I'm going to show first way here, enter in 1510, then I do 14,900, enter, 6560, I add, 3520, subtract, and then square root, then I multiply, and that's my result. However, I believe you can do this by putting in 14,900, adding 6560, and then subtracting 3520, square rooting that, and then multiplying 1510, but I entered in 1510 first so that it would be higher in the cache. Alright, we're on page 5 on question 51. Start this one off by putting in 16.3, add or enter 36.5, then I add 1260, enter 1520. I just backspace that to redo the number. Add square root, I add again 987, enter 1310, divide, and then divide again. I press 4 and then y to the x. So once I get my result for the inside the bracket, once I divided, I pressed 4 and then I pressed y to the x. That got my number inside the bracket and then raised it to the 4th power. And that should get your result. Now I'm on question 52. Start this one off by putting in 0.704, enter, and then pi, and then 1.74, and then I add 767, enter, 2420, subtract 1460, add blue shift key and square root to square, and then I divide. So I'm going to be redoing this one since the numerator went by kind of fast. Put in 0.704, then press the yellow shift key and cosine for pi. I add that, 1.74, and then I add square root 767, enter, 2420, subtract 1460, I add yellow shift key and square root to square, and then I divide. Remember that once you enter in a number and then want to get pi, yellow shift key and cosine, it will automatically shift the number up. Now we're on question 53. Enter in 146, enter, 139, subtract, 4580, enter, 182, divide, square root, and add. 201, make that negative, enter, 204, make that, or add that, then divide, and then press 4, and then y to the x. Remember, I have to press 4 before, or I have to press 4 after I get my result within the bracket to make the number in the bracket raised to the 4th power. Now we're on question 54. I'm going to be showing you one of two ways to do this. So we're putting it on 389, enter, 3.18 E7, then I square root that, then multiply, 8.59 E11, enter, 1.34 E13, multiply, press 4, yellow shift key and square root, and then I subtract. Alright, so the reason why I put it, or I square rooted 3.18 times 10 to the 7th, and something similar to the bracket when it went 1 to the 4th, is that 3.187 times 10 to the 7th to the 1/2 is the same as 3.187 times 10 to the 7th square rooted. You may or may not have gotten an explanation for this, but whenever you have 1 over something, the 2 on the bottom is gonna be your radical. So when I do 3.18 times 10 to the 7, I'm gonna be times 10 to the 7 to the 1/2. It's gonna be square root 3.18 times 10 to the 7. And then for 8.59 times 10 to the 11th times 1.34 times 10 to the 13th, once I get my result there, I'm going to do this whole thing to the 4th power, or to the 4th root. So your bottom is going to be your root, or your numerator right here is going to be your root, and your exponent right here is going to be your power. So sorry if that was a little confusing. There's gonna be more examples similar to this in pages pages 6 to the end. So if this was confusing for now, I apologize, but I will be going over that in a separate video or possibly just the next one. Alright, so in question 55, I'll start off by putting 0.261, enter, 31.5, enter, 382, divide, square root, and then add, 0.284, enter, 0.136, add, and then blue shift key and square root to square and subtract. Now we're on question 56. I'm going to start off with 3250, enter, 881, enter, 2550, multiply, square root, then add, 3550, enter, 590, add, then subtract. Get my result? Right. Question 57. Start off by putting in 24.7, enter, 10.8, multiply, 30.7, enter, 35.5, I add, divide, square root, and then to 3.23, and subtract. Now we're on question 58. I'm going to start off with 763, enter, 709, subtract, 1 over x, 29, enter, 475, plus 257, 6, negative y to the x. Multiply, 29, divide, then I square root. Remember, only enter in the result in the bottom line. Alright, that's it for this video. We're going to be going over question or punch problems from pages 6 through the end in the next video. We're going to be using the same test, so if you want to look ahead, that's alright. And I'll see you then.